This is the part 2 video tutorial for the St. Paddy Slapper slipper pattern, and in part 1 you would have already learnt about the materials required and how to make the sole. So in part 2 now we'll be learning how to make the sides here in the white. So assuming that you've already done your sole, you'll need your white yarn, Red Heart Super Saver Chunky White, and your 6.5mm hook, and we'll be working on round 4 with the white yarn. Now where you last finished off, you'll be joining in with a slip stitch. So you can pull up a loop there and you can see where you last finished off there. And you're going to insert your hook in there and getting the end of your white yarn here, and just leave enough of a tail that you can weave into your work later on. Just pop it over your hook and draw it through with the end tail. Just pop it over the working end, and we're just making a slip knot here. Just pull down there. Now we'll only be working in the back loops only for this round, so we'll chain 1 and then we'll do a single crochet into the same space where we joined, and you can work over your yarn tail at the same time, so you don't have to weave it in with a yarn needle later on, or you can leave it out and weave it in later on. It's up to you. So now we're making our first single crochet stitch here, and remembering we're just working into the back loops, so these loops here, and all we're doing is a single crochet stitch into the back loops of each stitch around. And I'm working over my yarn tail because I'm lazy. I just don't want to weave it in with my yarn needle later on. I like to make everything easy, or easier. So I'm just doing a single crochet stitch into each back loop of each stitch around. Now your back loops will pull up, but they'll go back down later on. But when you're working into them, they will pull up, but don't worry about that. It's just because we're working into them. So continue right around doing that on this round, and I'll see you at the end. Okay, so I'm up towards the end of round 4 after having done one single crochet stitch into the back loop of each stitch around, and here you'll see that that is the join and not a stitch to be stitched into. Our last stitch is there, and then you should have a loop there that you just leave alone. Don't stitch into that one. And then we're going to join into the first single crochet stitch that we made, which is here, not there. That's the chain one. So we're going to do a slip stitch into the first single crochet stitch to join this round. So at the end of this round 4 you'll have 48 stitches, and you'll have your tail there. We'll weave that in later, but that's what it looks like at the back here. That's what it's looking like now. And so for round 5, we're going to start off with a chain 1, and then we're going to do a single crochet stitch into the same space as the join here. So there's our first single crochet stitch made. And then we're going to do one single crochet stitch into each stitch around. So this is very easy this round. Just one single crochet stitch into each stitch right around until the end. So I'll let you continue on making your single crochet stitches into each stitch around, and I'll see you at the end. Okay, so I'm up to the end of round 5 now, and I have made my last single crochet stitch into the last stitch here, and then there's our join. That was our chain 1, and this was our first single crochet stitch that we made on this round, at the start of this round. And that is the one we want to join into with a slip stitch. So into the first single crochet stitch. And at the end of round 5 you'll still have 48 stitches, and that's what it's looking like now. Now for round 6 we're going to repeat round 5. So it was chain 1, this is for round 6, and then a single crochet into the same space as the join there, and then one single crochet stitch into each stitch around, right around to the end. So I'll let you continue on making your one single crochet stitch into each stitch around, and I'll see you at the end of round 6. Okay, so I'm up to the end of round 6, and I've just made my last single crochet stitch into the last stitch here, and you can see our join there from the previous round. That's our chain 1, and that was the first single crochet stitch we made at the start of this round, and that is the stitch we'll join into with a slip stitch to end this round 6. And still at the end of round 6 you'll have 48 stitches. So we've finished the sides now, and we can finish off. So we'll cut this and leave enough of a tail to weave in later with your yarn needle. So finish off, and now you'll need to click through to part 3, because we'll now be working next be working on the top part of the slipper with the tea leaf coloured yarn.